professor, and I'm hoping there's going to be a, what do you call them, class action lawsuit, because, if I wasn't caught up in that, then usually if they're attacking the TCOT hashtag, I certainly know the people that did get cut by that. So, once again, our government tax dollars under the Obama administration is going to hush conservative voices. Speaking of which, we segue right into Obama and his NSA is hacking the files of Fox reporter and Cheryl Atkinson from CBS. It's become known that Obama / his brain trust, Valerie Jarrett, have an enemies list. And the single most threatened people on the enemies list are the people in the media. Cheryl Atkinson was working at CBS News. Her computers were hacked by the government. Her keystrokes were monitored. She said her computers would turn themselves on at night, make strange noises, and shut themselves off. An exhaustive examination of one of her computers found that it had been hacked by a sophisticated entity that used commercial, non-attributable spyware that's proprietary to a government agency, either the CIA, FBI, DIA, or the National Security Agency. The expert exclaimed that her system told her 3 classified documents were buried deep within the operating system in a place that, unless you're some kind of computer whiz specialist, you don't even know exists. So now they're putting classified documents on her computer so that if she ever got them picked up, so say they come and arrest her and they got a warrant and they pick up her laptop, they'll have these super secret government documents that they'll be able to punish her for having them. But it was a third-party expert that went through the computer and found these. It wasn't her herself. So who actually ordered the federal agents to go after Atkinson? If it was Obama, that's ground for immediate impeachment. If it was somebody else in his administration, that individual's looking at jail time for a very, very long time. This is highly criminal. Highly criminal. And it's not unique. Look at what's happening at True News headquarters. The Rick Wiles of True News said that in front of the offices of True News, there were oftentimes cars parked with 2 men in it for hours at a time. That car would leave and another one would pull up, and they'd sit and watch the building. For weeks on end, they would go every couple of nights. Their offices would be broken into, ceiling tiles moved, cupboards left open, things moved but not stolen, nothing broken. They changed the locks. The people that were breaking in got through the locks. They managed to get the security cameras turned off before they got their images on it. So these are high-level professionals that are snooping through. They're intimidating the media that is supposed to keep an eye on them. We're going to talk a little bit more of this when we come back, and we still have a bunch of stories to cover. Please stick with us. We'll be right back.
We know you're there. We can hear you talking on AM 1050 KCAA.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, man, this
Welcome back. This is the fastest hour in radio. This is the Wednesday night edition of the Patriot Radio Show, and I am your host, Tom O'Halloran. Just a reminder, starting tomorrow night, I'm doing a fourth night of my radio show. It will not be heard over the airwaves. But if you go to Patriot-Radio-Show.com, you'll see a big red button. Click here for the Thursday show. It will take you to WAA Radio. That's We Are America. And you'll be able to hear the show there. Now, after the show, by the next morning, I'll have the advertising, the commercials cut out of it, and the show will be posted on the Patriot Radio Show, as all my other shows are. So if you miss any of my shows, you can always catch the archives at your leisure at Patriot-Radio-Show.com. But I hope you'll go to the website, click on the Thursday button, big red button, click here for the Thursday show. I hope you'll join me. They've got a great chat room over there, and it'll be a fun experience in a new medium for me. Going into the last break, we're talking about the break-in at the offices of True News, and the guy that runs the place, Rick Wiles, he said it started happening at his house as well. Every night for a week, he'd get home, and as he's getting out of his car, out in the driveway, he could hear loud music. Each night, he'd get home, and he'd find that the music had been turned on to the maximum level. No indication of the house being broken into, nothing being missing, but they walked through the locks like they were ghosts. They picked the locks and relocked it as they were leaving. There was no indication that it was done, but it was obvious that somebody had been in there. This is the government. Who's giving the government the authority? Nobody. So what are they doing? Breaking into homes just to mess with people's minds and drive you crazy. That's the stuff the Nazis did. Okay, moving on. What do we got next? Obama continues to pare down the military. The Army is getting ready to shrink down to 508,000 soldiers from 530. For all the insecurities of war, Captain Elder St. Just, a Haitian immigrant, he always figured the one thing he could count on from the military was job security. A Haitian immigrant who enlisted as a teenager, he deployed 3 times to Iraq, missing so many birthdays and Christmases that sometimes he felt he barely knew his kids. He hid the symptoms of PTSD so he could stay in the Army because he loved his job, and he believed that after 20 years he could retire with a captain's pension. Then this summer, on the day he reached his 20 years, the Army told him that as part of the post-war downsizing, he would have to retire. Adding insult to the injury, he would have to retire as a sergeant, earning $1,200 a month less because he had not been a captain long enough to receive a captain's pension. He says, I worked, I sacrificed, I risked my life, and they took it away like it didn't matter. Captain St. Just said it was just like losing a job and having your wife leave you suddenly and not tell you why. It's your whole life. This year, cuts fell on officers as well. 1,188 captains, 500 majors, many of who are intending to make the military career. And all of a sudden, they're found out of a job. Captain Tawana Jameson, who served 22 years in the Army, but only 7 as a captain, will get a sergeant's retirement of $2,200 a month, which is less than half of what he would get if he retired as a captain. But he had served 7 years as a captain. He still doesn't get the captain's retirement pay. Obama is paring back the military to the levels of pre-World War II. There's no way that we'll be able to respond to trouble around the world like we always have, like we've always been able to, with the way he's paring the government back. He retired many top admirals and generals, Navy captains, colonels, because they would not support and embrace the openly gay men serving in the military, because they know it's a disgrace to the uniform. It's a disgrace to our country. It's a disgrace to the soldiers that serve. It's turning our military into a social experiment. So he retires anybody that doesn't want to go with his social experiment. He says it's my way or the highway. And now we're cutting more. Anything that this man can do to destroy America, he's going to do. That's been his philosophy from day one, and it continues. And now in the next couple of weeks, he's planning on signing an amnesty bill that will grant amnesty for somewhere between 4 and 8 million illegal aliens this year. Within the next 12 months, there will be 4 to 8 million new legal voters. They may not become citizens in time to vote in 16, but you know that's the plan. And if he gets away with it, we'll never have another chance like we have right now with a conservative Senate, with a conservative House, to undo the wrongdoings that Obama has brought upon us over the past 5 years. All this cutting back on the military, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. He claims it's because of money. If he'd stop bringing illegals in and putting them on welfare, stop giving them free education, free homes, if he'd stop expanding the welfare rolls, entitlements, giving stuff to people that don't earn it, those numbers have been going through the roof. The expenditures on welfare have practically, well, they've more than doubled since Obama's been in office. And he pares back the military. The welfare rolls are making us weak morally, weak financially. And to build that even worse, he's cutting government funding, military funding, to make us weak militarily. We won the election, folks, but it's a long, long way before we turn this country around. Don't rest on your laurels. Don't sit back and say, yay, we won, it's over. It's a long, long way from over. Light up the phones. Call your congressmen. Call your senators. Tell them not to allow this amnesty to go through. Tell them not to allow Obama's replacement of Eric Holder to be sworn in before the new Senate gets seated. Loretta Lynch, the black race baiter that he's trying to appoint, is as bad as Eric Holder is. She'll have the same types of policies that he's been pushing. Everything for the black community and screw white America. They'll continue to divide us against each other. They'll continue to try to give to the blacks because so many years ago, their grandfathers were slaves. Nobody alive today was at fault for anybody being held a slave, and nobody alive today has suffered